Hi, I'm Doug Smith with the Adaptive Physical Education Department, and I wanted to go over a couple of terms that we use in our department. One being normal instruction, one being differentiated instruction, and then one being universal design for learning. So I'll go through these kind of in a visual way. Hey, visuals are a great strategy for all students. So I'm going to be visual here. And I'm going to start with normal instruction. And a lot of times when we have students with unique learning styles or have learning needs, it can be students with ADHD, it could be visual learners, hands-on learners, students with a disability, any kind of needs. A lot of times we don't know what to do exactly in terms of meeting their needs. And so in a normal situation, you might teach to the masses and not necessarily meet the needs of that one student. And so that one student kind of gets left out or has to try to mix in, and then they don't really get the full access to their curriculum or to the physical education curriculum. Differentiated instruction, this is a lot of what adapted PE does. This is a lot of what we do when we come in to help with a student. In this situation, you have kind of a parallel idea going on. So you're teaching to most of the students, but you also have where you're differentiating the instruction for one or several students. And it's almost like they're participating in a parallel environment, parallel play, which is what we used to say with our toddlers. And they're not necessarily always engaging within the entire class. They might be getting a specialized instruction just for them, which is fine and great, but do they feel out of place or do they feel like they're different than everybody else? So nothing wrong with differentiated instruction. It's just that it tends to be a little more parallel. When you look at universal design for learning, it's being more proactive. All right, so differentiated instruction may be more reactive and you're reacting to this one student's needs. Universal design looks at being proactive and looking at strategies that might meet the needs of many students. So this particular student that has that need, a strategy that works for them, it might work for all the other students. And so it's thinking ahead and putting strategies in place that would could be great for all students. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So let's go down and look at equipment, and let's look at bowling. So here we are looking at bowling equipment. So in a normal class setting, let's say you had a student who needs to use a bowling ramp. Okay, maybe they broke their leg and they have to sit down and they use a ramp to bowl. Maybe they do use a wheelchair, but whatever the scenario, they need to use a bowling ramp and you don't have one. So you're going to say, well, I'm going to teach normal to most of the other students. This student may just have to sit out today, for a day or so if they have a broken leg or something. Well, differentiated instruction would say, all right, we're going to provide you with a ramp, and this student's going to use a bowling ramp. The rest are going to bowl normal. Well, the issue with that can be, yes, this student is getting their needs met, but they might feel different and they might feel like I'm not like everybody else. And students over here might actually want to try that ramp. They might say, why can't we use that too? They might be very curious about how to use it. So universal design for learning, you can provide that ramp as a choice for anybody to use. So have one or two ramps along with a variety of equipment that students can choose from, and everybody can experience that. One more example, PE routines and using schedules, having a set schedule or a predictable schedule for your class. A lot of times you have a warm up and then you have skill practice, and then you try to apply that in a game situation. So that's kind of a normal setup. So for some students, they need to know what that structure is and they need it to be predictable. If in a normal class, a lot of times you might change that on a week-to-week basis. Well, this week we don't have time to do this, or we're going to have to jump right into this skill, or this week is changed because we have to move out of the gym and move into an outdoor space. And this particular student really needs to have that predictable schedule to help them. A lot of students with autism really thrive off predictability and thrive off routine. In a differentiated instruction, you might have a written out or a picture schedule for this one particular student and let them have that kind of one-on-one when they come to PE. You go over to them and say, okay, first we're going to do this, next we're going to do this, and then finally we're going to play this game. This is your schedule, and you're working towards having a good class today. We're going to check off all the things that you do on your schedule, something like that. And everybody else just follows along with whatever you say. Universal Design for Learning, you can create a big poster schedule and show every student what you're doing for the day, where you have what's first and what's next and then what's last. And that doesn't hurt anybody seeing a schedule. In fact, you know how most kids come in and say, what are we doing today? And it gets kind of annoying. Well, if you have a schedule for everyone, they can automatically see the 3 things you're going to do today or whatever your schedule looks like. And so it doesn't hurt anybody. It actually helps everybody to have a visual schedule up on your stage or up on your wall. So I hope that clears it up a little bit. As Adapted Physical Education, we're obviously really focusing on differentiated instruction, but we would love to help you create some strategies, being proactive and looking at strategies that can help most students and even might help students that have specially designed instruction, who have IEPs or on a 504. They might be able to do really well in your regular class. So that would be kind of a goal to aim for, and to keep them in the least restrictive environment by putting some of those strategies in place early on and having that part of your routine. Thank you.